Let's hear from Mr. Enrico Tanuwidjaja, ASEAN economist from UOB's Economic and Treasury Research Team, as he shares insights on the global economy and ASEAN's emerging role within it. Enrico, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wee Cheong, CEO of UOB Group, Mr. Fred Chin, Head of Wholesale Banking, UOB Group, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently living amidst unprecedented and profound change in a world economy because of rising uncertainty that begets market volatility. Well, everybody knows that. Okay. Now, let me quantify for you what it means today. This is a chart aptly called World Uncertainty Index. And Fred, this is, by the way, it's constructed in year 2022 by 3 expert staff in the IMF. So this captures voluminous economic reports, media mentions, etc., with the word of uncertainty, and its variation. So this is very relatable to us. Let me pin it down for you. We are currently at a record-breaking level, even surpassing COVID and Donald Trump's first term. Mind you, during Donald Trump's first term, it took him 5 quarters to pass on the first tariff. Now, 5 weeks. 5 weeks. It surpasses the great financial crisis of 2008 because they have policy levers. Now, this is uncertain. And basically, just last week, IMF chief herself mentioned uncertainty is indeed the new normal. What's causing this? What's causing this? 3 things. Firstly, rising geopolitical tension, not just in the Middle East and Ukraine, but also in other parts of the world, basically undermining the global goodwill. If this flares up more, higher energy costs, disruption in supply chain may mean higher business costs. Secondly, US-led tariffs have appended and undermined the global foundation, the long-standing foundation of the so-called comparative advantages-based trade into something, well, more transactional in nature. And thirdly, the local socio-political upheavals, as we see recently in Nepal, Peru, and Indonesia, underpinned by the rising inequality, widening of income gap, as well as resources misallocation. All this means we are chartering into a new normal of uncertain world. So, amidst this so-called volatility and uncertainty, this has pushed global GDP growth into below 3%. For this year, we predicted to be at about 2.8% before coming back to about 3%, but ASEAN 6 continue to grow at about 4.4%. Currently, we're sitting at a nominal GDP of $3.7 trillion. IMF predicted will surpass 5 trillion by 2030 or so. We are higher in terms of growth compared to Euro area, Japan, and more mature economy. So amidst all the volatility and uncertainty, ASEAN remains resilient and steady. Now, let me point you with this interesting chart of 6 economic bloc trade by adjacency. Adjacency matters. I'll tell you why later. Okay? If you compare with the 6, ASEAN ranked 3rd, right? But then I don't include BRICS or RCEP because to me, adjacency matters. ASEAN continued to offer a strategic anchor for global businesses to diversify its operations and manufacturing processes. Also, unlike the EU that operates under a single currency, each ASEAN state member country have their own flexible exchange rate adjustment and mechanism to absorb external related shocks, making their economy more sound in absorbing uncertainty and its associated shocks. And noting the shift of international trade relation, many ASEAN countries have embarked on a so-called local currency trade settlement, reducing the over dependency on US dollar. And finally, I hope my friend in CAG take a quick note. We are a bit unique. Not only we're connected by land mass, we are separated by enough body of water such that sea, land, and air transport becomes matter compared to USMCA, the African region, GCC, etc. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN remains as a key opportunity for investment. Now, what about China? China is ASEAN's largest trade and FDI partners. In fact, the chart shows you over the past decade, our trade in ASEAN with China has grown from below the world average, about 14% of its total trade, into more than 21%, highlighting the complementarity between ASEAN and China. And secondly, of course, we can see that China and for that matter, more global investors continue to view ASEAN as offering an unparalleled investment proposition. First, as an alternative manufacturing hub, and secondly, of course, as a consumption powerhouse in itself. So, in this regard, what must ASEAN do? One big opportunity, as aptly mentioned by our CEO, is the low level of intra-ASEAN trade at about 22%. We compared with EU, well above 50%. USMCA, well above 40%. How do we achieve this? Sustained synergy, ongoing structural reform, and continuously deepen our financial market. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the culmination point of my presentation, and I'm very pleased to share with you that basically for this year's conference, UOB has commissioned the so-called Gateway to ASEAN paper, drawing upon Bloomberg Media 2025 FDI Outlook. Let me share with you 5 key insights that will bring us through for the rest of the conference segment. First, about 3/4 of global executives that's being surveyed actually showing that they plan to reconfigure their supply chain within the next 3 to 5 years. This may struck you in 2 things. First, reconfiguration is different from reshuffling, which is more transient in nature. Reconfiguration is more structurally entrenched. Number 2, you would have thought they take 10 years. No, they hasten it up to about 3 years, as early as 3 years. Right? And number 2, consistent with that, more than half of the businesses being surveyed are considering nearshoring within the next 3 years. Nearshoring has evolved or revolved from a reactive into a proactive business strategy. And about half of these businesses will continue to expand and choose ASEAN to grow its investment plans. Firstly, to strengthen the end-to-end operation, shortening delivery time, and improving regional competitiveness. Number 4, Singapore. Singapore continues to attract high value-added investment in the area of advanced manufacturing, technology, and regional supply chain. And number 5, very important for UOB, because 70% of the global executive survey wanted banks to help them to navigate the tariff risks, FX volatility, and trade finance. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to share with you also that there are altogether 14 key insights available for download right after this conference. We have painted a picture that's basically of an uncertain world, yet ASEAN offering its continued potential and the GTA paper put that into perspective. And with that, we are currently ready to delve deeper into discussion with the global industry leaders in showing the pathways to reshape the global supply chain through innovation and transformation. Thank you very much. 谢谢大家。